Everybody, thank you so much for having me. It's actually Open Neighborhoods, and I am here to talk to you about free broadband internet in Los Angeles, which is a fancy, long way of saying free Wi-Fi, okay? And it's not just an idea, it's actually happening because we're building it and we already have a model. Before I get into it, I want to tell you we're going to step back a little bit, kind of look at the big broadband picture. There's about 93 million Americans that actually don't have broadband, some of them right here in LA, some out in rural communities. And ironically, a large percentage of broadband actually goes unused. Many of us here probably have Wi-Fi, right? We have broadband at home, but we're here, we're not using it, right? Internet costs are extremely high in the United States relative to the rest of the world. Actually poor service relative and quite expensive. So that's kind of one of the issues I want you to think about. Three big things you should consider as I'm talking over the next 3 minutes. First one, right? What's being done? What are we doing at Open Neighborhoods? And ultimately, what can you do? Okay? First thing I want to talk about is what's being done. On a very large, grand scale, there's something called, this is actually not following along. I don't know if that matters, but federal stimulus money, huge broadband funding, and the Broadband Technologies Opportunity Program putting in billions with a B to lay more lines so the third of the country that doesn't have access will get access. FCC's pushing hard. What's happening is municipal initiatives like LA Wi-Fi here in Los Angeles are trying to bring free Wi-Fi, but it's been stumbling for years. No one's really doing it really that great from a municipal city-based standpoint. Of course, the Olympics are going to try to get it by 2012. Now, there are some very important things going on that you should be aware of. Grassroots movements, national, very important grassroots movements, and this is something that we actually are a member of, Internet for Everyone. They believe in access, openness, right, innovation, and choice, something that Open Neighborhoods also believes in. Community programs are kind of what we are. We're a community kind of public-private concept where we have communities sharing and basically participating. One of the models we've been following is called Free the Net in San Francisco. You probably heard of it, pretty tech-savvy crowd, but 500,000 users. So what is Open Neighborhoods actually doing? We're building local social networks. So community-based social networks, and through those local social networks, we're providing free internet. So you don't believe it, right? How are we doing that? Well, one of the things you should be aware of is Wi-Fi sponsorship actually builds a huge loyal customer base. So businesses around a community that lock their internet, they're kind of frowned upon, but when they start to share, not in a linear fashion, but in a mesh network, and they all have a robust Wi-Fi mesh. Not a concept, it's reality. We actually have a pilot program. This is a screenshot of our Wi-Fi mesh network right here in Mar Vista. And we have over 700 members on our social network. We have over 1,300, 1,400 unique users a month. It's really robust and it's happening. One of the things we've learned over the last year or so when we've been building this Wi-Fi mesh and some of the local social, there's huge benefits to Wi-Fi mesh networks. Because they're redundant, they're more reliable, and actually what happens is they're infinitely scalable. We have a pilot program. We want to blow this thing wide open all across the country. It's happening in other pilot cities. Beyond the Wi-Fi benefits, there's actually local community benefits. What do I mean? Because we're building social networks, kind of partnering with our Wi-Fi technology mesh, what happens is you have great neighborhood advocacy. We don't really monitor these. They actually happen organically. So our model is really kind of a brought to you by model, the brought to you by the community. We have local businesses, we have residences, organizations like Mar Vista Farmers Market, they all participate in the mesh. Well, how do we sustain this? This is something we kind of asked ourselves early on. How are we going to sustain this over time? Basically, ad-supported local social. So the merchants want to get in front of you, the consumer, the customer, and what do? They provide little banner ads on the local social networks. So basically what happens is these local merchants, Joe's Coffee or whatever, the V Lounge, could basically put out a Wi-Fi mesh network, and all you have to do is click on the prompt page and it says, this open mesh network brought to you by such and such merchant. Well, why not do it on a grand scale? What if a huge corporation wanted to do it? Like HP, which has actually done it in a community in Florida. And those kind of corporations could provide a sponsorship of a Wi-Fi mesh network. That's what we're doing in Mar Vista. That's what we're doing in other communities. And we're going to continue to blow this out. San Francisco, like I said, has over 500,000. So what's next? It's time to open Los Angeles. That's all of you guys, the digital tech crowd. We're currently actually accepting inquiries, kind of an announcement tonight, from local communities in Los Angeles and also business partnerships that are interested. And this is kind of my prompt, my call to action. I'm asking you to open your community. Contact us. You can go to openneighborhoods.net to learn about how we're doing it. If you want to really see it in action, go to Mar Vista over on Venice Boulevard on the Farmers Market. Great Sunday, and you'll see a Wi-Fi mesh in action. Thanks again. That's openneighborhoods.net. You can check out the Open Daily we just launched. A couple of my colleagues are out here. Fantastic publication. If you want to follow me, you can check me out on Twitter @John Ayers. Thanks, guys.